Imbue Hunter is an archetype that was introduced into the Emerald Dream. The idea behind the deck is you want to use King Plush to be able to combo your opponent down because it has charge and your Imbue hero power allows you to increase its attack while also reducing its cost. It's been made a lot more powerful with Tending Dragonkin, which copies it as its own stats as well, so it will be a free mana, and it will also have all of its buffs included as well that's involved with it. The idea behind the deck is you're wanting to be using your Imbue power as quick as possible, so you're wanting to get all of your Imbue minions out quickly too. So cards that are really useful for it is you have Bitterbloom Knight, you have Exotic Houndmaster, and you have Flutterwing Guardian. They all will buff up your Imbue power. In addition, you're also using cards such as Petal Picker, which allows you to draw some extra cards, and Sing Along Buddy. When you use your hero power, it copies it a second time, so it copies that extra buff that's been happening for it. So the idea is around the turn 7 mark, you'll be able to get your combo off, in which that turn you can do the 3 mana reduction and then Sing Along Buddy, which reduces down again by 3. And then you also use your Dragonkin to be able to reduce it down further to be at the 0 cost ones, and then it will end up being able to deal the 30 damage to them. The best mulligan that you can do for the deck is you're looking for Bitterbloom Knight, you're looking for Exotic Houndmaster, you're looking for Fetch, and you're also looking for... and sometimes you're looking for Tracking and Birdwatching as well, but in general you're looking for those 2 banner Imbue cards. Going into the gameplay, I am playing against another Hunter, and they're also using the same style deck, so they do at the moment have a significant advantage against me because they have gotten a lot better draws in terms of their Imbue cards. I did luckily just then hit a Sing Along Buddy, so I've just used my King Plush. I've just used my hero power to buff up my King Plush, and now they've played down their Houndmaster as well, so they'll be able to get their King Plush into their hand. They now are trading into me to get rid of my minion, and I'm just deciding now what the best play is going to be because they'll be going into the turn 7 play before me, so I'm just doing as much buff as I can for it, and then I opt to not use the King Plush just because I'm going to lose if they end up taking it out because I don't have the mana for it, because since they get to turn 7 before me, it does mean that I'll end up losing more than likely if they have the play too. So I end up just holding the King Plush. That's the reason why I'm holding the Conceit as well, just because I thought that they would have the King Plush in their hand along with the buffs. Because if they do end up hitting the buffs, it does make it stronger. But what I end up finding out with their play is they end up having the Umbra Claw in their hand, so they're not actually able to get the combo off onto me, which is a bit of a weaker version of this deck because it means that you can't guarantee the beast being the King Plush to be able to get the reduction down. So now they end up playing down all their cards that they have here, which is fine, but I do obviously have the King Plush that has the extra buffs with it, and it's also the free cost one as well. So I end up playing down my 2 King Plushes, and then I go face with it. The other thing that's really strong about this is if you end up holding one of your King Plushes, you can combo it again with the Tending Dragonkin, because it ends up going back in your deck. So you use the Battle Cry, you get the copy of it, and it goes back into your deck. So if you don't end up getting lethal on your opponent in that turn with it, you still are able to get another King Plush out, which obviously is quite strong. The cards I'm mulligan for, like I mentioned before, is I'm mulliganing for those 2 mana cards, so I'm looking for Bitterbloom Knight. Sing Along Buddy is also pretty important to have as well quite early, because with Sing Along Buddy, you're wanting to use it to be able to get that reduction down around that turn 6, turn 7 sort of turn, so you're able to get the combo off onto your opponent. The opponent I'm playing against is an Imbue Druid, so they haven't really had too much of a change. Like the biggest cards for them is the Amandrasil, which allows them, is the 4 mana location, allows them to get some extra important things. They draw an extra card, gain an extra mana, gain an armor, and then also refresh a mana. So that's quite strong, and then it gets stronger by 1 each time. But the Petal Picker, I think, is probably the bigger part for them, for the buffs, because with the Petal Picker, once again, like for my deck, it allows you to draw extra cards, which is what these immune decks did have a little bit of trouble with, especially the Druid, because you'd have a lot of spells going out quite early and things like that, but you would end up not having anything else really to do. I end up just playing this Sing-Along Buddy for tempo, because of the fact that I do have the other Sing-Along Buddy in my hand. This deck doesn't run Dirty Rat. I know that Imbue Druid doesn't run Dirty Rat. And I'm also just wanting to, if I can, get a sneaky hero power off on it. So that's the reason why I've played it down, just because if I end up applying that pressure to them, it could have potentially paid off. Unfortunately for me, it doesn't end up working, but I'm not in too much of a... I'm not too fussed by that, because of the fact that I still obviously have the other one in my hand as well. I was just trying to get the an extra sneaky buff off on it. They end up using their they end up using their spells to be able to get their buff increased. I end up getting the Bitter Bloom Knight, and I just play it down, obviously, because once again I am trying to get as much of the immune power as done as possible. The Sing-Along Buddy does obviously get the extra buffs happening too. They end up using their one, and then they summon a 5/5, so it is getting to a stage where it's a little bit concerning. And I do at the moment have the cards to be able to take out these minions that are here, so I am just deciding what my best play is going to be in terms of getting the King Plush. I end up opting to use the Wound Prey, and then use my trade into it, and then use my Spirit Bond to be able to take out the 5/3, and then the 3/2 to take out the 2/3. It wouldn't have really mattered too much about the opposite way that was there, but it does allow me obviously to have the 2/3 still on the board. If I did have 5 mana that turn, I would have just taken out the minion using my minion, and I would have hit the hero power to go onto my King Plush. I end up getting the Mixologist here. I'm hoping for something like the deal damage or the freezing effect, which luckily I end up getting. Since they do have the 3/3 with the spell burst, if they don't end up hitting a spell, they are going to be put quite behind, because I'll be able to get enough health back here. The other thing as well that I'm thinking about is that with the cards that I do have in my hand, I am in a decent enough position to be able to get through them. Obviously with the immune things that's here, I do have the Blessing the Wolf, I have the Mixologist, so I can get back the extra health. So what I'm doing right now is making sure that I'm not going to be able to be lethal this next turn, and I obviously do have the Sing-Along Buddy that's in my hand too. Next turn, I have the ability to go for Sing-Along Buddy if I wanted to, or I could do it this turn. I end up opting to use it for this turn, just because I can get the buff down, and then next turn I'll be able to do 2 King Plushes if I need to onto the board, or I could just do 1 King Plush and then hold the other one for the following turn. Since this Druid deck doesn't really run any rush minions, it means that more than likely I'm not in any sort of position to really lose from here, because once I hit the hero power and my King Plush comes down to a 1 cost, I will use the Dragonkin, and then I'll play down the King Plush for 1, and then it will obviously get rid of their board, while also meaning that I have another King Plush in my hand as well, which is going to be too much for them. So they end up using a bunch of their minions to be able to get Taunt, which is fine. It's not really too scary for me at all. And then they summon another Golem out of their hand to get the 7/7. I do have the replenishment here as well, so in reality I could just use... I could probably have worked around a different sort of way, but this way does the exact same job too. I end up using the King Plush here to shuffle all the minions back into the deck, and then I just go face with my King Plush. So right now the only thing that can really play around me is them getting a healing card to be able to survive my King Plush from next turn. And that also means that they need to have a bigger board coming out as well. So I still have quite a significant advantage here too, because they need to deal with my King Plush, they need to heal, they need to do quite a bit. So they end up playing down the new Legendary, which is immune to fire spells, but not immune to destroy the Wisp or whatever it's called, where it destroys a minion, because I had that happen to me and it was terrible, they end up getting the buffs happening to it. Obviously, since I have the King Plush in my hand already, I do have lethal on board because of the fact that they have the 9, they only have 9 health that's there. So I end up using the King Plush then and going face. If you've enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, and bye for now.